Got off to a good start on both sides of the ball. Our offense took the first drive down, scored a touchdown. And, our first drive on defense, they ran the ball a little bit. We got some stops. And when you look back statistically, they're able to get some yardage on our first group. But I think the difference between the previous week and this week, we didn't give up any big plays on defense. We were able to keep the ball in front of us both in the run game and in the pass game. And our guys tackled better, just tackled better, ran the ball better. We had better angles, better force players, did a better job on the defensive side of the ball. So no big plays, some better tackling, and obviously our red zone defense has been pretty good. We limited some field goal attempts and stopped them when they got down inside the red zone for the most part. So our defense played better than it had the week before, just from a fundamental standpoint when it comes to tackling and pass coverage, some of the things that we did not do as good a job at Lake Erie. Offensively, very efficient, running the ball, throwing the ball. Heath obviously had a big night and with the 6 touchdowns, but a large part of that was due, I think, to our game plan. A lot of credit has to go to Eric Kaler and the rest of the offensive staff for putting our kids in some very favorable positions. Schematically, we ran a little bit more empty than we had in the past, ran the ball out of empty with some fly sweeps, did some different things, try to get the ball out on the perimeter more, get the ball in space in both the run game and the pass game. And Heath managed our offense well. When we had some looks where we didn't want to run some stuff into, Heath got us checked into some better plays, and we just took advantage of the things that Ferris was giving us on the defensive side of the ball. Didn't turn the ball over, which was obviously a problem we had earlier in the year, and have seemed to be a little bit better here in the last few weeks of turnovers. Our ball security on tape has been better, and obviously our quarterback is making some good decisions. Our return game, I wish we'd done a little bit better job with our punt return game. We didn't get as good a hold up with a couple of our guys up front, and Reggie got loose one time, but there's a couple of opportunities I wish he would have had. Our kickoff returns continue to be good. They kicked away from Eric Thompson. I thought Reggie ripped both of his returns. Probably the biggest negative for us was our extra point team. We had a low snap, which led to a missed field goal, and then we just got our butt kicked on the right side and got one blocked on another occasion. So missing those 2 extra points in a game that's 57-10 doesn't show up as much as it may moving forward. So our snap, hold, kick, and our protections got a little bit better than it was Saturday on that team. But our kids were very focused. I thought our approach throughout the whole week of practice was excellent. I think, with the injury to Schufert and how it occurred Tuesday during the flow of practice, and it was an interesting scene, when he went down, and that's a tough thing for a team to handle when you're kind of your leader on offense and your senior tailback that's a very emotional player, a very vocal, loud leader for us on the offensive side of the ball, suffers an injury in the middle of practice, and it's hard for that thing to go unnoticed throughout the course of practice that happened, and we had to, we kind of had some adversity in the middle of practice, which we had never really experienced a ton before, and our guys, in a different kind of way, I guess, got refocused and handled the situation well, because it was tough out there Tuesday when he went down. I think the nature of the injury, everybody on the field out there kind of knew something was not good, even though we didn't have the results. You can kind of usually tell in those situations. And our kids, we moved some drills around and got things handled. We came out Wednesday and Thursday and practiced well, and then Saturday I thought we had a good approach throughout the whole course of things. So environment was spectacular. A lot of credit goes to our students for coming out and our fans. I thought the Laker Blue Night was a success. It was a good atmosphere. The product on the field was good, so not a whole lot of complaints. Came out pretty healthy from the game and was a success. Moving forward to Michigan Tech, it's going to be another tough home game. They are leading our league in scoring defense, and we're leading the league in scoring offense. So you've got a matchup of the top 2 teams when it comes to scoring offense, scoring defense, going head-to-head. They have had some they're 5-3 also. They've also had some very tight ball games in their losses. They lost to Saginaw Valley in overtime. They lost a 13-7 game to Hillsdale, which was a very tight game also, and then they lost at Wayne State. So both sitting at 5-3, both looking at 3 losses that come not in blowout fashions, very tight ball games. They're big up front. They've got 2 defensive ends that are both all-conference players coming back. They have a lot of seniors on both sides of the ball. Of their 22 starters on offense and defense, 12 of them are seniors, and on the defensive side of the ball, 7 of their 11 guys are seniors. So that's why they're playing good defense. They've got a lot of seniors on the defense and offensive line. Freshman quarterback, who I thought has done a very good job. Tyler Scarlett kind of fits the mold of what they've had in the past. A guy that can run and throw, and they're very well coached on the offensive side of the ball, and they have a very good scheme to kind of again, take advantage of who they are. They lead the league in time of possession. That's not by accident. They do a lot of moving parts in the run game. A lot of their passes involve moving the pocket. It's not a lot of five-step stuff. They're kind of very efficient with their offense, moving the chains. A lot of trick plays this year that we've seen on tape, and I think the reverse is probably just a normal standard play in their offense. They're usually running at least a couple reverses every game, and they're doing a good job of keeping different defenses off balance. So we saw a lot of trick plays Saturday night. Ferris threw 5-6 different trick plays at us, and we're going to see the same type of thing. I think from Michigan Tech, they're going to run some different types of plays to keep our defense off balance, and they're going to try to do a good job of maintaining the football and protecting their defense, which they've done on the offensive side of the ball. Probably statistically, they have not ran the ball as well as they have in the year past. I don't think that's necessarily due to anything with the scheme. I think it more has to do with they don't have Phil Milbrath back there, and he was a special player for him, and they've kind of done a little bit tailback by committee. And so as a result, they maybe don't have as much of the rushing attack, but I don't know if they need to as much because their defense is playing very well on that side of the ball. So going to be a challenge for us again, another big physical defense, and we'll have to see the best way to attack it. Last week, the best way to attack it was to empty some things out and try to get the ball in space. I'm not saying that's the way would be best, but we're working on that right now on both sides of the ball, trying to figure out a game plan. I do know with the style that they run on offense, we've got to get some stops on defense, and we got to be very opportunistic on offense. We can't waste a whole lot of series because this is a game that will probably be short. And last week against Northwood, total game time was 2 hours and 22 minutes, and that's very short. And that had a lot to do with Northwood's offense, but also Michigan Tech's offense too, and just running the ball and playing good defense. So a lot of respect for the coaches up at Michigan Tech. They obviously beat us last year, and they always their teams are always very well prepared to play, and they've just lost a couple close ones. They're close to being right there with the top teams in the GLIAC, that with Wayne State and Saginaw and some of the ones that are leading the league right now.
Coach, you've had, after each of these recent wins, you say, you haven't arrived just because it's a blowout. Now you have 4 straight blowouts. How do you keep that edge, that momentum, kind of keep going?
I think it kind of cuts both ways. I think our results, the success we're having, are validating to our players some of the messages that we've been trying to reinforce about, ball security and execution. Our offense executed very well Saturday, and so you take away from that our execution and the way we're playing is validating the message again from the coaches. At the same time, we're going to keep preaching about humility and reminding them the reason we're in this position, that we have 3 losses, why that occurred, and to keep our humility moving forward. And our focus is just going to be on Michigan Tech. So again, it's you take the good with the bad. We've had some bad, we've had some good, and you don't want to be negative Nancy in there every time you're with the team. You want to also point out the positive things that are occurring, and there's some positive things that are obviously occurring on the field, but you also got to remember where you came from, because it wasn't too long ago we weren't playing great football, and that needs to stay fresh in our players' minds also.
Greg, what do you take away from last year's game? What do you remember, and how can you use that moving forward against Michigan Tech?
I just know they were very physical. They had a good game plan against us. I think that last year we were kind of maybe overconfident going into the game because we just beat Ferris 41-0, and we also beat Ferris, this year 57-10. So I think we got to stay focused and just learn the game plan. And earlier in the season we had a lot of mistakes, and we just have to minimize our mistakes. And then if we execute well, we'll be able to do good things.
Heath, how nice is it to get that GLIAC award this week?
The what?
Excuse me. GLIAC award this week.
Oh yeah, I guess I just found out I had it, right before I walked in. But I mean, it's nice to, be recognized for having a good game, but it really doesn't mean all that much to you. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm more happy with the win we got rather than the award.
Early in the season, it looked like a lot of what, it looked like for good reason you were going a lot to Javon and CJ. It seemed like this game it was a little bit more spread out. Is that something you guys have talked about a little bit more, spreading the ball around a little bit more?
Not really talked about. It's really just who's ever open. I mean, in our game plan, I know this week we wanted to focus maybe on getting Greg more touches, and you can see he did that with 2 touchdown passes he caught. So I don't know if it's necessarily, talking about getting more guys involved, but it's just really how the game plan works out, what the defense is going to do to us. That's really how we base our offense, offensive play calling. It's really just seeing what the defense is going to do rather than what we want to do. It's responding to how they're playing us. So, yeah.
Coach, am I hearing that Michigan Tech's strategy will probably be a little bit different than it was last year? I mean, last year, the thing that sticks out is obviously Phil Milbrath ran crazy. Is that going to be a little bit different, you think, maybe this year?
I think maybe a little bit just from the standpoint of they realize that maybe, I don't know, I watched it on tape, like they're still going to try to run the ball and control clock. I think the difference maybe this year is that they've struggled to maybe run the ball at times, so they've understanding that they have to have a competent passing game to complement their running game. And that's not a five-step deal. They're doing a lot of stuff. Northwood last week, they moved the pocket a ton. We're getting the ball out to some of their guys out in space. And so I think the overall philosophy of Michigan Tech football is the same. I don't think they're changing what they want to try to do on offense. I think they just haven't maybe ran the ball as well, so they focused on trying to be able to move the sticks on other areas of their offense besides just the rushing attack.
Coach, talk a little bit about your philosophy when you are putting your number twos in the game and kind of what your thoughts are in terms of letting them run your offense, dictated by what the opposing defense does.
Yeah, I think there's two things on that. One, some of those guys that are out there, and you talk about, again, I'm going to knock on wood, Isaiah Grimes is, he could be in there playing quarterback in the first quarter on Saturday. And we're firm believers around there that practice is important, but there's really no substitute for game reps. And the reps that Isaiah gets out there are important for his development. I think they're important for our team. So consequently, if we go out there and just run the ball, I don't think that really helps Isaiah's development, and it certainly is not going to help our team moving forward. Conversely, in the same vein, our kids are taught with our offense that if they see certain things, we want them to check to certain plays. And so if a defense is going to present us looks like running cover zero, and we're not just going to run into the stone wall, we're going to let Isaiah do what we let Heath do, which is you check and you throw, and you're able to move the ball down the field. So some of us throwing the ball and doing that stuff, some of that's our philosophy of how we do things. Some of it, to be honest with you, is dictated by how a defense wants to play us. And if they choose to want to run a ton of cover zero, then we're going to try to throw the ball down the field. And I'm getting ready to go in a team meeting and talk about how we're constantly evaluating people. Isaiah Grimes has done a great job at taking advantage of his opportunities when he's had opportunities. He's thrown it well. We had a couple wideouts that dropped balls that they should have made some plays on, and I'm going to talk about that. Like that, those aren't meaningless reps to the head coach or the offensive coordinator or the coaching staff. Those are important reps because you're getting evaluated in those situations. And so, I guess it's just our philosophy that when we have our next group in, there is no such thing as quote-unquote running up the score because we're trying to run our offense and defense. It's not like we have our starters in there throwing it around. We put in some of our backups, and if the shoe was on the other side of the foot, and anytime you put in your second group, I think that kind of is a signal that at that point you're trying to get some work for some other people, and that you're taking your starters out and trying to protect them.
Heath, so talk a little bit about the blue jerseys. How did it feel wearing those out there for the game against Ferris?
Yeah, I liked them a lot. I mean, I thought we looked pretty good as well, and obviously our play on the field matched that. So I thought they were real comfortable. Another thing about them, I mean, they're real tight to the body, different kind of material. So I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully wearing them again. I don't know though.
Greg, obviously you're a senior. Talk a little bit about your senior year, coming down to your final three regular season games, and your thoughts going into those games.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Talk a little bit about your senior year and your thoughts going into your final three regular season games.
Yeah, obviously I had a slow start, with injuries and stuff like that, but I'm excited. This team has progressed, and I've progressed as well. I'm just trying to contribute to the offense, help our team win, and I'm excited about these last three games. It could be the last three games of my career. I'm trying to make the most out of it, trying to help younger guys develop and stuff like that. So I'm just excited, to play Tech and to play Saginaw, play Northwood. I'm excited to play all those teams and just can't wait.
Greg, Heath kind of poo-poos, his performance last week against Ferris and winning the award. How have you seen him kind of grow as this season progressed?
Well, I've seen him. He's getting a lot comfortable back there. An example kind of in the game is, we saw cover zero, it was man, and then he kind of checked a play that we never really checked before, and we kind of joking on the sideline like, yeah, he's kind of getting too comfortable back there because he's checking stuff like just pulling plays out of his behind, and it's kind of funny, but he's progressed. He's gotten a lot better. Like I said, he looks a lot more comfortable back there, a lot smoother, and I think he's gained a lot of confidence, and that's good moving forward.
Okay, thanks, guys.